I've got a 2015 Chevy Equinox, and it's starting to shudder at slow speeds, and it's also stalling out. So the thing will just lose power. And it really felt like there was a bad plug wire because the way it was shuddering kind of weird. It's almost like the cylinders were out of sync. And so I replaced the plugs, replaced the coils, plug wires, to no avail. Still got this problem. So next thing I went to look at was both of these products here. It's called a VVT. It's some kind of transducer or solenoid or something that is useful to keep the crankshaft in sync, apparently. So it's got some sensors in here, sends some electronic signals back for the computer to figure out what to do. So you're going to be careful when you use these. There's got one that's marked here for intake, INT. They're going to install very easily, just like spark plugs. So when you remove your coil on top of the plug from the head, you're going to just unscrew a bolt just like this, and you're going to take that whole coil pack off, and then you're going to go down and get your spark plug. This thing here just sits into the block just the same way with the same kind of screw to hold it down. You're just going to plug that in there. So it's going to be a little bit tough to get that out. It's got a rubber O-ring here that you're going to want to be careful of. You're going to want to put a little bit of protectant on that probably. And then you're going to notice these very, very fine grates here that oil's going to pass through. It's going to take some kind of pressure sensing or something going on there to figure out what it needs to do. So these are going to get plugged up, and it's not going to work effectively over time. So I'm going to replace both the intake and the exhaust because I don't want to deal with this problem. I don't know which one is bad. I'm told you can clean these, but I don't know if I'm going to want to deal with that. They weren't that expensive, so I'm going to go ahead and just replace them both. You're going to see that this one has EXH on it for exhaust. It's also got a black top. So same thing. It's got a plug down in there. It's got a screw to hold it down. So they both look very, very similar, but they've got different plugs in the top. So you're going to make sure that signal goes in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the old ones off of my Equinox now. I'll show you how to install these new ones, and we'll see how they work. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get these plastic covers off the top of the engine. And you've got a bolt down at the bottom here. It's holding on a hose clamp for that intake. So you're going to want to use a 10mm socket, and you can loosen that up. And then take that bolt, then don't take it all the way out, just loosen it up so then the hose will slide off of that intake. Then up on top of the engine, at the other end, there's another hose clamp with the same 10mm bolt. You're just going to loosen that one up too. And then on the side here, there's another little hose that's just plugged into the side of this plastic. You can just pop that off. Now you should be able to lift the whole thing off. There's two retaining rubber things in the back. You're going to have to pry up a little bit, and then the whole thing will just remove. And then this next panel's got 3 of those rubber retaining things, 2 on the left and then 1 on the right. But you got to unscrew the oil filler cap first, and pop that last one off, and then the whole thing just comes up and off. It's just a plastic dust shield. Now I'm just going to put the oil filler cap back on so nothing falls down in there. And then the part we're looking for, they're both on that left side there. And first thing you're going to have to do is battle with these 2 plastic plugs. They have a white plastic clip that retains the plug on the top of the solenoid. You got to remove that little white plastic clip, lift it up and out, and then remove the black clip below it. And it's not easy. Both of my white plastic clips broke. You can see it there. Both of mine's broke because it's an old car and it's got brittle plastic. So after you get those out, then you're going to just need to use something like a pair of pliers to just squeeze that black plastic plug together, and then it'll just come straight up and off, right off the top of the solenoid like this. And then you're just going to do the exact same thing for the other plug in the back. Get that white little cover thing off, and then pull the whole plug off the top. So, got the gray one on the front, the black one on the back, and there's a hold down bolt here, and a hold down bolt here. And so with the vacuum, cleaned out all the dirt that was down in there. And now I'm going to loosen these up. 10mm bolts, and then they should both just come straight up and out. Now we're just going to use our 10mm again, and you're going to want an extension on your socket and just loosen up both of the bolts for the exhaust and for the intake, and just loosen them up, and then we'll take those bolts out. Now, removing the solenoids, you're going to need something to pry it up. I got this little crow's foot for removing pieces of the interior. Worked really good for this. Just got a little angle there, and I was able to put it underneath the plastic top and then just lift it straight up and out. And so get something like this. These are really handy to have as a kit. Comes with different sizes. But I just pop it up just a little bit like this here so that it just comes up, breaks the tension, and then you can just pull it up. And get ready to put this solenoid into a plastic bag or in the box or something because they leak oil as soon as you lift them up out of the engine. Now we're going to put our replacement part in. Just drop it down in the hole. Make sure you got the black one in the back. And then we're going to push it down all the way flush so that that O-ring seats in against the motor and that we're all the way down to the bottom. And then get your socket and your 10 millimeter. And then you're going to go ahead and thread that bolt. You can see it there, all the way down, and then snug that up nice and tight. Now we'll put our second one in. This has got the gray top on it, goes in the front. Push that straight down in, snug it in good, and pass that O-ring, let it seat right in there. And same thing, I'm going to use that same extension. I'm going to tighten that bolt down. And I just did it, hand tight with the socket. I don't know the exact torque setting you need for it. But then same thing for the back one. Tighten that one up also. Then put your plugs back in, and they should click into place. They have that little snap retainer thing. And then now we can go back and just put the rest of our plastics back on top of the engine and then give it a run. So put that first plastic part on. Remember, it's got 3 rubber connections on your oil cap. And then attach the top part, and you're going to want to screw down that hose clamp on the top hose and then the one on the bottom hose. And then don't forget to plug that plastic piece in on the side, and you're done. So hey, I hope this VVT solenoid replacement fixes your problem and you get your Equinox going back on the road again. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. That'll help other people find it as well. And as always, I hope you have a great day.